How's it going, everybody? This is Chris from Castle Tech, and today we'll be looking at the Apple Watch Series 2, 3 reasons to buy and 3 reasons not to buy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get the bad out of the way first and then end with the good. So, one of the dislikes I have about this watch, this is going to be number 1, is the fact that it can glitch. To be able to replicate it on camera might be a little bit difficult, but when you're scrolling into an app, there has been times where I've clicked on an app and it says loading, and it'll keep you stuck, or you'll be hanging at that loading screen for about 10-15 seconds, and you'll still be stuck there, so you'll be tempted to go ahead and click the button again to take you back to the watch face, and then go ahead and click the crown again, reload the app, and then it'll load up. This has happened to me with apps like the music one, which is right here. It's happened to me with the remote app, which is the camera to take pictures through your phone, which is right there. And those are the main apps I've had issues with. Shazam has done it once. I wouldn't load when I wanted to hear a song that was on the radio, like find out what it was, and it didn't go through in time, and I wasn't able to capture the song. Still things like that. Sometimes the apps don't work quite well, but sometimes it happens. But for the most part, it's a seldom occurrence, but it does happen. So that's something to keep in mind with the Apple II Watch. That's dislike number 1. All right, now for the second dislike, it's unfortunately going to have to be the lack of third-party apps. So with pretty much any Apple device, you're going to be pretty limited in scope to what you're able to do. So for example, they have big apps like Instagram, Twitter, Shazam, and they're not bad, but in my opinion, they could definitely go outside the box and give you a little bit more of a difference as far as, maybe games on the Apple Watch. They have, for example, Pokemon Go. I don't play that game, but it is an option to have on there. I just like a little bit more of features, maybe like Tetris or something funky. I don't know, but it just seems very, very limited. At times, I look through these apps and they're extremely simplistic, and I'm better off just going on my phone or my computer to go ahead and check this stuff out anyway. So I wish that Apple would allow for third-party apps that would give developers kind of an open platform to go ahead and make apps for wearable devices. Because I mean, that's what the Pebble was all about. And the Pebble was actually, even though it was extremely simplistic and kind of cheap at times, it had a really, really good app selection in my opinion. It was just a new thing to check out every week, and I really liked it. So that's going to be my second gripe. Now, my third and final gripe with this is going to have to be not a software issue, so nothing that's going on with the actual, how everything moves on the inside. It's actually going to be the hardware. And what I mean by that is it's going to be the crown right here. All right. And as you can see right here, it has this little, what we call the digital crown, and it's doing it right now. I actually can rub my finger on it and it's not moving. You have to apply very little force, and it should move. It really shouldn't be sticking at all. But that's the issue. The issue I found the most with this watch, and it's really, really bugging me, is that this button, this crown, can stick. So like you'll have to turn it a little bit harder than you would some other time. So as you can see, I'm turning it, and it goes into the watch. You give it some time, go about your day, and you just, let's say like you click it, and you want to scroll out of an app or scroll around. I've actually done that to where I've clicked it and then I've scrolled and it kind of sticks a little bit, and I have to pull a little bit harder than I'd like to, and I just feel like it's dirty or there's something underneath there. But for the most part, I keep this thing extremely clean, and it's kind of an annoyance, to be completely honest with you. Sometimes it'll go really smooth, other times it'll stick and kind of give me trouble, and I'll have to go like this a couple times to get it to work. That's one of the things that I don't think that they've addressed. I think that was an issue when they were doing their waterproofing, Apple was. And I've gone online and I've seen a bunch of forums where people are talking about the crown being sticky and not moving. So it's not an issue that I'm experiencing alone. I definitely would recommend looking up some blogs or looking up some forums to where people talk about the issues and how to counteract them. Actually, I found a workaround. So when I was getting really tired of this sticking, so what I did was I took my watch, and since it's waterproof up to 50 meters, I took it and I put it in the sink, and I kind of just submerged it and then twisted the crown while it was down there, and that luckily was able to, I don't know, it must be something with the seal that they put behind this thing, but it kind of like lubricated it to the point where I was able to turn it fine for the rest of the day. But then it comes back like every other day, or it's just it's there. So you're not going to get rid of it, and it's kind of something that bothers me. So if you're a person who really likes smooth buttons and smooth sliding, and it gets stuck once in a while, it's definitely gonna get on your nerves. So that'd probably be my last dislike with the watch. Alrighty, now we're going to get into the 3 likes that I have about the Apple Watch. Alright, so with this watch, the Series 2, it actually has really, really good remote capabilities. And man, do they work well when they work well. Now what I mean by that is they don't glitch out on you. But for the most part, I've had pretty much a seamless experience. So for example, there's this one app right here. And I'll go ahead and bring it to the camera and let it focus up. There we are. Alright, so as you can see, it's got that little camera shutter button. So what you do is you turn the crown in toward that application, and it'll go ahead and open it. And there we go. That's a viewfinder through my phone's camera. So my phone is over here, and you could look at that. That's pretty cool, right? I use this mainly for when I drop something like underneath a cabinet, or maybe like behind something, and I'd rather not take my phone and take a video and then watch the video later. This is real time. So I'll be, I can be over here, and it'll help me out. It's basically like my like extendo eye, I suppose, like some type of way to see farther than you normally would. This is what I use it for. Of course, you could use it to go ahead and snap pictures from your watch, and it'll take them. And that's kind of what it's meant for. I've also had it work with video, but it doesn't want to do it with video, but it does work. So yeah, this is one of the remote capabilities that I find extremely useful within the watch, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I like it so much. Alrighty, now we move on to the second remote capability. We're still going to stick with the remote capability. There are 3 that I think are notable. So the second one that's actually really, really cool is the fact that you can control your lights from your watch. So as you could do it with the phone, you can also, you can see the glow from this light. You could also do it with the watch. So we're going to go ahead and click the crown. I'm going to go over to the Philips Hue app, and it gives you 2 widgets. There we go. Alright, as you can see, it has widget 1 and widget 2. The widget 1 is for brightness, and the widget 2 is to dim the lights. So we're going to go ahead and give that a shot. So I'm going to go ahead and move my hand so you can see the glow from the lamp. I'm going to go ahead and hit the dim function. There we go. Dimmed out. And then to brighten it back up, the other widget. Oh, sorry, I didn't press that right. There we go. Back up to bright. So I actually set this up yesterday. I wasn't using it prior to this. And man, is that awesome. Is that the coolest thing or what? I don't have to use my voice even. I could just quickly leave this as like an app on my watch that, just, oh sweet, I need to turn on my lights, or hey, I'm not anywhere near my lights. I mean, I'm downstairs and someone's in my room, they ask me to turn on the lights, I do it from my watch. Super, super cool. Awesome remote capability that I think gives this thing value, for sure. Alright, so the third and final remote capability that I like about this whole watch is the ability to control your music. So I am a big music person, so I like being able to hear my songs on demand when I want them, being able to switch them when I'd like, depending on what mood I'm in. So they have the Apple Music app, which is pretty much the only app it's compatible for with music, which is a bummer, but it does work. And as you can see right here, I have my playlists, so I'm going to go ahead and click one of them. So go ahead and do this one. And it's just very, very buttery smooth. It's nice to go ahead and switch between songs. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this one. And that's audio that's coming from my phone itself. So I really, really like that. And you could turn up the volume by scrolling the crown. Make up your mind. And turn it down. And then pause it, or skip it completely to the next song. They also give you options here in the bottom corner to remove it from your library, love or dislike it. And then depending on what you like or what you dislike or you love, it gives you different recommendations for your music. And I found that Apple is really, really good at tailoring music to to your preferences and the genres you like. So that's another thing to keep in mind. So I am really big on the music control, and any watch can do that, but this watch does it very, very well, and it makes the entire experience very smooth. It's a very smooth user interface, so I love that. All right, now we passed up the first like, which was remote capabilities, and we're on to the second one. So the second one actually is going to be the ability to receive and make calls. So you do need to be paired with your phone to be able to do that, but the entire experience is pretty seamless. So you can go ahead and click Crown, go over to the phone, scroll down toward it, and then you'd pick any type of name, any contact that you have in here that you want to talk to. There we go. All right, so as you can see, it gives you kind of a nice little interface to go through your contacts once you've actually hit the phone app. So you're going to go ahead and click on a name. It'll give you some more of your contact information. You go ahead and hit call, and it'll go ahead and call to the mobile. So it'll go through this watch. And that is coming from the watch itself. Hey, what's up, Dustin? How's it going, man?
It's going good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hey, I'm testing out my watch. Could you say literally anything? I'm trying to hear the audio through it.
Yeah, you did sound really different. It took me a minute to realize who it was. Is that enough for you there?
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, thanks, man. Hey, I'll give you a call back, right?
Sure.
All right, Dustin. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. He was at work. I probably shouldn't have called him, but you can see the functionality of this watch works pretty well. Yeah, just recapping the features with it really quick. With that call, the speaker is pretty good. They had to waterproof it, so it kind of sounds a little bit tinny to me personally. The speaker, I've heard that when I talk to people on their end, I sound crystal clear if I'm talking on my own phone, which is really cool. So you're talking through a watch. If the speaker or the microphone were as good as your phone, you really wouldn't need your phone anymore. You kind of just try to phase it out and then give this thing kind of its own SIM card and ability to make calls, and this would be your daily device for most people who wanted to, keep it light and not have to carry this thing around. So that's one of the other features, ability to make and receive calls. Amazing feature with this watch. All right, now we move on to the last one, the last feature of this watch, Apple Watch Series 2, that I think makes it kind of what it is. So the difference that they had from the Series 1, which is the one that was released a couple of years ago, and the main difference is the fact that you can actually get places but navigate without your phone. So you can leave this at home. It doesn't really matter. There is a GPS that is built into the watch. Alright, so in regards to navigation, I would definitely recommend using Apple Maps instead of the Google Maps. The reason being is because Apple kind of made the Google Maps a little bit unintuitive to use on this device. It's not really optimized, and it's very, very lackluster in options and things that you can do. So we're going to go ahead and hit this. This is the Apple Maps, and as you can see, it gives you directions to home or work, and it actually finds those two things out behind the scenes, so it finds out where you're traveling to most and spending a lot of your time, and it can, from there, deduce where you live and where you work. To some, that might be creepy, but I think it's fine to me. It really doesn't matter. So you can also search for things via voice dictation. My location, it allows you to basically put down a pin and send that to whoever you'd like. And then nearby kind of just gives you suggestions. So we're going to go ahead and hit search. And then let's say I want pizza. I'm going to hit pizza or something like that. Nearest pizza place. Boom. Firehouse Pizza and Pub. Kind of tells you when they're open, the times, and the cost, directions via walking, car, and then public transit. It gives you the phone number, and then as well as like a little thing on the map, as well as the address. So that's pretty cool. It's all pretty much in there, and you don't need your phone or anything, and that's something I really, really enjoy. You kind of just go out with your watch. You don't need to be tied down with anything, and it helps you get where you need to go. So that is definitely a major selling point of this watch, and it was actually the really only big difference that made me want to get this over a Series 1, because the $100 price difference was really, really attractive, and I opted to go with this one just because I am able to find a place or get directions if I forget my phone, but I really need to get somewhere. And that is definitely a reason to pick this watch up. All right, now this brings me to the end. Do I recommend the Apple Watch? Yes, I do recommend the Apple Watch. However, I will say that the Apple Watch is really tailored for a specific person. It's not going to be for someone who likes to bounce around between different phones. Unfortunately, I fall within that category. I'm pretty soon here going to go to Samsung, and this is very much meant for the Apple ecosystem only. It won't work with any other phone. It's only for Apple products. So that being said, if you have a MacBook, if you have an iPad, if you have an iPhone, you're probably going to want to complete the set and get an Apple iWatch. The Series 2 is the better of the two, obviously, from the Series 1. You have GPS that's not available in the other one, as well as a faster processor. There's really no lag in this thing when you're switching from apps. So the price you pay for this thing kind of shows you the features that you're going to be getting. At $400 brand new, this thing is not something to just, it's not like a Casio wristwatch. This thing's going to set you back a pretty penny. That being said, I would, if you are in the market for a smartwatch and you have an iPhone and you think you're going to stay with them for a while, by all means pick this watch up. This watch is going to give you the most utility out of any watch. Android watches, those smartwatches are really meant for people who have Samsungs or Google Pixels or things like that, things that are a little bit more open source and not as tied down. This is going to be for people who like iPhone and don't want to switch ever. This is going to be your go-to watch. Like I was saying, at $400 brand new, probably about $350 used. This watch isn't particularly cheap, but you do get what you pay for. The battery life's great. I've had it last all day, no problem, with like 20-30% remaining. And that's from making calls and using text and all that stuff. So yeah, overall, I like this watch. Am I going to stick with it? No, unfortunately, because I am going to switch to Samsung. I'm really excited about the Samsung Galaxy S8. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a shot and get rid of this watch here pretty soon. But I have to say that the time I have spent with it, the last 4 months, have been great. It's really not giving me any issues, and I've used it a lot. I really haven't just had it sitting on its charging dock in my room. I usually wear it on my wrist daily. So it's a good watch, and I would recommend picking it up if you have the money and you're going to stick with Apple. That is definite. So, all right. That sums it up for my review. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. This is Chris from Castle Tech. Take care. Bye-bye.